Alright guys, let's talk about it, the brand new Diablo 4 update and how to actually craft the Uber Uniques. This is a very frequently asked question, so the patch is live right now. And a lot of people want to know certain things. So the first and most important thing is, how do you craft the Uber Unique? Well, you have to have Uber Uniques to actually craft an Uber Unique. It requires 5, and you're going to go to the Alchemist. This is located in many of the towns, but basically you go to the Alchemist, and you go click where it says transmutation, and you go click where it says the transmute resplendent sparks. So how this works is you must get 5 Uber Uniques as of right now, and then you have to salvage them. That's going to grant you 1 resplendent spark. As far as we are aware of, you only get 1 spark per Uber Unique. Now, another thing that came out with the update is Melted Heart of Selig didn't actually roll with the highest stats on movement speed guaranteed, and if you had an old one, what would happen is it would stay the same, so it does not get a free upgrade. So if you rolled a bad Melted Heart of Selig, you are stuck with it. If you have a legacy one which rolled with core skill damage instead of the movement speed, it is stuck the same way, but you can salvage it and get a spark and then craft a brand new Melted Heart of Selig, and this will allow you to do it. But I also want to give you guys some bonus tips and kind of go over how the community feels about this, because I wanted to open it as a discussion. But if you're just interested in how to craft it, you get the Uber Unique, you salvage it, you're going to get a Resplendent Spark, and it requires 5 of them and 50 million gold. As far as right now, you cannot just get Resplendent Sparks in any other way that we are aware of. It's only by salvaging Uber Uniques. So remember, 5 equals 1 that you want. So overall, I want to say the reception has been kind of negative because it's just too much, considering it requires you to farm Duriel for quite some time just to get 5. I mean, yeah, it's better than nothing, but still, at the end of the day, I think we could have had a much more smoother way of actually acquiring this. So some people were also wondering what were the rest of the patch notes, as there are other patch notes. So again, the Uber Unique is basically the biggest things that got changed. There were a few other things that did get changed, mostly like gameplay and bug issues. That did also fix the advanced rapid fire bug with precision, so that is a buff to Rogue in most cases. But on top of that, there is another thing where it says the drop chance of Uber Unique items acquired outside of Duriel encounters has been increased. So a lot of people were wondering, is this actually realistic? Here, I'm just going to play some gameplay in the background just so we have something to kind of visually look at while I go ahead and rant about the newest changes. So we tried several methods and we were wondering what was the best method. I heard goblins are better, I've heard nightmare dungeons are better, I've heard the vaults are better. At the end of the day, vaults tend to give you the most things when you are at the very end, you open up all those chests, right? Originally we were doing split goblins, and I was wondering if this was a good way to get Uber Uniques. So we didn't get any Uber Uniques, just as a heads up, spoilers, by just playing in a full 4-man group for like an hour plus. I mean, if we multiply that, if we're doing like about 4-ish hours of gameplay, and none of us got an Uber Unique by doing tier 100 vaults, as well as doing the nightmare dungeons, we did not get any. So I was wondering what was the community's feedback, because, you know, maybe I just got unlucky because some people were posting that they were getting one. Now, if we have like hundreds of thousands of players, you know, playing, and maybe one or two people drop it and they're posting it immediately, some people may get a different impressions, thinking that, you know, with this brand new update where Uber Uniques can now drop from, you know, other monsters a lot more frequently, which is, their notes are very vague here. I mean, let me put it this way. If the chance of dropping an Uber Unique is 1 in, like, you know, I don't know, like hundreds of millions, like basically there were so many people farming the game, and the drop chance is so abysmal to the point where you would play for, let's say, 50 years, I'm not even kidding, 50 years straight, no sleeping, just Diablo all day, you wouldn't even get all the Uber Uniques. And if they multiplied that even by like 100 times, it's so rare to the point where it just becomes like unreachable for most players to even obtain even one. So the drop rate has to be increased by such a huge amount that it has to have, you know, a realistic, you know, number to make people feel that they have a chance at actually getting them. So this is just a clip over here. This was just posted over on Reddit. So someone got one by just playing in the game. If you're wondering like what was he doing, it looks like as far as the monster level, because this is as far as we are aware of, the monster just needs to be level 80. The monster just needs to be level 85, I believe, or higher, or that would be the original like number where an uber unique could drop. Now, what is the threshold on this newer buff? I don't know. I don't know if doing sigil 100s increases the chances. In fact, like I said, we were doing split goblins. We were just looking for goblins, and then someone would type in 1, then we would go to him, we'd go get the loot from the goblin, and then keep on going. So that was one method that we were trying. Again, I don't know what the best method is, because this was a question that I got asked while streaming. And I was kind of just looking on Reddit and seeing how people feel about this like new crafting feature. Do people like it? And people were like, yeah, it's pretty lame. And I think that overall the reception is kind of negative. And the reason why is just because it's too rare. The fact that to craft an uber unique, which is like the super rare thing, you have to have 5 of the uber uniques. It's like, okay, maybe if you made it so you had to salvage like 100 regular uniques, that is a long stretch goal. But it is a goal that people can actually hit, right? Where it's like, okay, I'm slowly progressing towards getting my uber unique versus just farming Duriel may still actually at the current state be more efficient. Again, if I'm partied up with a relatively efficient group and we are just clearing different forms of content and none of us are getting it in tier 100s either way, and we're playing for an hour each, like if we just farmed and we just slammed Duriel just consistently for an hour, more than likely at least one person would have gotten one. So your results may vary. That was just mine. I'm just trying to share and give you guys realistic raw numbers here. Again, the patch just came out, so don't expect, you know, someone to have like, oh, I have 100 hours in right now and I have like the exact results. It's gonna take maybe a week, and I'll update you guys on how realistic it is to maybe get some of these. Now on top of that, people were asking, did they get an uber unique outside of Duriel, and they're like, no. So that was the clip that I played. Some people were talking about how they got it. Someone said they got it from Malphite runs. Again, there's no proof of this. Would people lie? I don't know. But at the end of the day, I'm just giving you guys the information here. Someone said they got it off of a goblin, but again, it can all be varied. Now, another thing I want to update you guys is on the gauntlet. Some people were wondering, why is the gauntlet not started? Originally, this was the day that the gauntlet was supposed to start. Then they pushed it back to the 27th, and it was posted on the official Diablo website, and then it got removed again. So that's why I'm not playing the gauntlet. No one's playing the gauntlet. It doesn't exist. Now, it was scheduled to be on the 27th of this month, but then it got removed, and basically it got changed. There's like a post over here where it says compete in the gauntlet now soon. This originally said the 27th, so I'm just giving you guys all the news on this. And they did not fix the melted heart of Selig. This was one thing that I showed you guys because I have the melted heart of Selig. It does not change it to the good rolls. What you would have to do is salvage 5 of your bad melted heart of Seligs and make another one. Like, I cannot make this stuff up. This is, you know, something that actually has because still. So the old melted heart of Seligs will still roll the movement speed, and again, this was a problem that already existed because uber uniques are supposed to drop absolutely perfect. Another thing that some people noticed earlier was that there was a bunch of placeholders for some new skins. So this basically, and more than likely what happened was on the 13th, which was the original schedule, there's supposed to be some of these new skins to come out alongside with the gauntlet. So expect when the new gauntlet comes out to have some new skins, but I mean, they had these placeholders which were basically characters that had no armor on because the new armor isn't out. But there's going to be some new armor. More than likely, you're going to have to pay for it. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be free, but it'd be cool if they were free. And then another person was just adding to the whole, like, farming it. The uber rares don't even exist in the drop table. So, like I said before, you can play for, like, this person saying 10 billion hours, and even if they multiply it times 10, it doesn't matter because it's just unrealistic. But as far as the update goes, I want to say, in terms of giving them some, like, constructive feedback, I think that we need a more consistent way to get uber uniques. I'm thinking that maybe certain bosses can drop it. Maybe Duriel has the highest drop chance. Increase Duriel's drop chance by a bunch. And then the other bosses have a small chance to maybe drop an uber unique, but maybe they only drop a very specific one. Like one of the uber bosses, like whether it be Varshad, maybe he has a very high chance for weapons, but he only drops weapons, and that's it. But Duriel can drop all of them, and maybe Duriel has a very high chance, just to make it so Duriel isn't worthless, because if in the open world we are getting uber uniques too fast, then that just makes Duriel absolutely pointless. It's kind of like Obels now. Since things can roll 925, using Obels is absolutely worthless. So essentially, they kind of created even more problems for some people, but it depends on the way you look at it. At the end of the day, it is better than nothing that we can craft it, but I don't really like this whole idea of it requiring 5. It's just too much. But that's my feedback. You guys can let me know yours down below. But that's going to wrap things up. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like. If you're new here and you want to see more updates with Diablo stuff, hit subscribe, turn the bell, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know your thoughts. Peace out.